So you don't always understand the significance of a moment until it's already passed, especially not when you're playing music in front of a crowd of 100 people. It was my senior year of high school in about 2020. Like always, our marching band was playing pep music for the football games, and this night was no different. The buzzer blared through the crowd announcing halftime, and we knew that it was in that moment that we were about to play to over 100 people that knew who we were. We made our way down the stands as the lights above glared down at us, being swarmed with bugs. Our entire band of about 50 people huddled behind these giant props, backboards that were painted together to make a club with a 27 on it. We had decorated the entire field to look like a jazz show, complete with a stage for the percussion pit and tables for the flag-twirling guard members to dance on. My heart was thundering in my chest as we waited for the music to start. We all gave one last silent nod to each other, and then the percussion started to play. It was upbeat and swinging just like jazz was supposed to be. All of my bandmates flooded out into the field without me. They were dancing and slapping each other on the back and acting like they were making jokes as they were making their way to the set. I was the only one that was left behind. I counted the beats in my head, and then I went out. I was no longer myself, I was a character. Like, where was I? What was this place? I don't know where I am. All of a sudden, everyone that had been moving moments before froze, and I was the only one left, other than this man standing on a podium in bright red suspenders and the glittering skirts. All the girls in the skirts rushed towards me, and I'm freaking out. They grab my arms and pull me towards the front of the field. They're friendly, they're smiling, they're giving me reassurances, but something about that man in those red suspenders doesn't sit right to me. But the club seems okay. Why not just go with the flow? What's the worst that can happen? I slide into my set just as the percussion stopped playing. Justin, the man standing up on the podium, raises his arms, and so do our instruments. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, bam! Our first note hits. Everyone in the crowd that had been talking earlier quiets. And we start our show with Jimi Hendrix Fire. It was loud and energetic, and we were all struggling in the band not to speed up because it's just that hard when you're racing across the field. The next song that we did was Breed, and that was no slower. Because in a show, you don't have time to fix any mistakes that you made. You just have to keep yourself from making the next one. Then, Amy Winehouse came in with Rehab. It was nothing like the last two songs. We all broke from our formation and started mingling. I went to go dance with my friend Katie, the flute, while Sammy on her flugelhorn started with her smooth solo. Then Abby came in with her solo. Just as smooth, just as sultry on the same instrument. Now, the rest of the brass started playing over there, and they were okay. But I turned to Omar, our bass clarinet, and we agreed they didn't have it, but we did. So we decided we're going to show them up. So we high-five, I take my hair out of its bun, and we serenade the crowd with a solo that Amy Winehouse's smoky voice showed. At the end of our solo, we took our bow, and then we continued with the rest of the show. Move On Over by Janis Joplin was next, and then the real show began. Something was brewing, because by then, everyone in the band had bright red scarves hanging from their left pockets except for me. Suddenly, I'm not in the formation anymore. I'm not with the band. They're over there. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I rush back into the formation, but Abby and Sammy push me back out. I turn to Justin and I realize this isn't a club at all. It's a house for the devil to steal your soul, and everyone else had already sold their soul sold for fame and fortune. So in the play, in the band, you can't speak during a show. So I had to let all of my motions do the talking. I walk up to him. Oh, you want me? You think you're gonna get me? No, no way. I turn and I walk away to an empty spot on the field. I put up my trumpet and I start playing the finale of the show. As I'm playing, everyone else in the band slowly drops off and they start going to the back and hiding behind the boards again. I'm the only one left standing on the field up until the very last note that hits long and then falls off into nothing. Justin's no longer standing on his podium. He's standing right beside me. He has his hand held out. He's saying, "Come on, little bird. You know you want to." I take a few steps back and I try to resist. I'm not going. I can't. I hand over my trumpet and pull out my red scarf, officially selling my soul to the club. Justin jumps up into the air and I catch him in my arms. And in that moment, I start walking him off the field. And when we reach that backdrop of Club 27, I turn around and Justin gives one final salute to the crowd. And then the club is officially closed. We're all grinning from ear to ear because we can't believe that we just successfully did that show. Club 27 is my favorite show of all the shows that we've ever done. Not just because of the show, but because in the beginning, when our director first handed out our music, the first song had the highest note I have ever seen. I did not know how to play it at all. And I didn't have the confidence to end the show. So I told him he was crazy. I couldn't do it. He gave me this Cheshire grin that he always has when he feels clever, and he just said, "You will." And I did. I was terrified, and I was horrified that I would let everyone down, but I did it. And at the end of the season, he turned to me and said, "If I didn't believe that you could do it, I never would have put you up there. Someone had to give you that chance." Because before, I was always fourth chair on the trumpet. In my senior year, I was suddenly first. I was suddenly the main character of a show that I didn't want to be the main character in, but I was. So sometimes you just need that chance. Because we went out there, we did our best, and we succeeded.